Hello YouTube, and how are you doing on this fine, lovely afternoon? This is the weapon survival, self-defense, whatever you want to call this series. This is Talk About It. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it Talk About It. And that's where we get into some useful tips for weapons, survival, self-defense, and all that good stuff. Now what I have here is just a plain wooden bat, or as some people call it, a baton. Honestly, this either way, bat, baton, it's pretty much, I might get some hate for this, but the same thing. Now, and why I say that is because what a baton was originally was a longer, like an extension of wood, originally. So nobody get on me about that now, because now I know grade 8 aluminum, I know, I have them. Don't worry about it. And I'll get into that. And, you know, it was basically an extension. And now, I've modified this bat very little, but I have modified it to be more of a baton. I've made it smaller, and that's why I call it a baton as well. Because now, if this was a regular sized baseball bat, yes, it's a bat. That's completely it. It is. I mean, all this is just stuff that I've done with just messing around, paint job. But I have made it smaller, and instead of making a full down grip, I have just put electrical tape on it. And now, let's just get into the actual bat features of this, bat. And now, obviously, survival, self-defense, a bat's one of the more perfect blunt objects you can actually have. You know, they're very reliable. A lot of them are very light. You know, you can always depend on the weight, you know. So, but that's another thing. Sometimes a bat can be too light. And with that, now I have an aluminum bat right back there, a regular aluminum bat that I'm about to grab, and I'm about to show you. Alright, I'm just grabbing it right now. Sorry about that, I'm moving some things. And the reason why I decided to pick the wooden one today is so I can point out this feature. This is a bat. A regular aluminum grade bat, you know. When I was a kid, I don't know, maybe elementary school, I used to play baseball. Baseball was fun, you know. I'm not a big sports person anymore, I'm sorry about that. But as I realized I got older, this is too light for me. You know, when I find things that are too light, you can't put a lot of force into. I mean, you can, like, on impact, but otherwise, you know, it's too light. And I find a lot of things that make it easier for me is fighting with that weight to actually pull it and make a good strike. And, you know, it's, because again, these things, especially these ones, they're hollow. And one of the more things that I find attracted to with wood is that you cannot make it hollow. Or you can, but that's not how these are made. You know, so they have that little bit of, you know, weight that you're fighting with. You can still one-hand it, you can do everything that you could do with that bat, but I feel it's easier to put more oomph, like, you know, more power into this one than it would be to put into that one. And I know you're saying, well, it's light, it has no, so it would just be, you know, your force. You're right about that, but I find, again, with this, with me, I feel that my reactions with something that's light, and that to me has no weight, is very hard to react with. When with this, I have that weight, and also with the weight, you're ready for impact. So you're not just going to suddenly hit it. Because since you're already going, you're already going to feel that. You know what I mean? And that's perfect with this bat, you know. You know, again, for this bat, you know, that's perfect. Another thing, it is wood. That means you can use it but you have to be careful. And even with a lot of the aluminum bats, they're not the most, strongest thing in the world, is what I should say. Because even these aluminum bats have some flaws, They have weak points in them. Every bat does. Everything that's going to be like this has some weak points. And you say, well, it's rounded, how can it? There will be weak points in it. And I might be doing modifications to this bat to make it better. So, one of the things is I'm probably getting rid of this grip, or most of this grip anyway, so that, even with that, actually I'll more or less do that right now. So, there's just, I guess what I'm saying, when you're picking a baton, more or less, you just got to be more aware of what you need in it. Even though that's not really the series, but I can always talk about what I want to because it's my damn channel. But, so, you just got to make sure with especially batons or bats, you gotta know, and bats really aren't survival. Well, they are survival. They're not. No, I'm right. They're not survival. They're more self-defense, if anything. So, if I had more of a chance, or if I had more of a decision, let me state it like this, with stuff that you could find in a house, if I had more of a chance of a baseball bat or a crowbar, I'm, of course, going to go for the crowbar. Because to me, there'd be more uses. Yes, it's blunt, which means a weapon. But they're used to mainly open doors, open crates, so you can actually use them unlike these. So these, temporary, really. These would be a temporary survival kind of mix in there. So, always look for options. Don't always go with the first thing as far as stuff like this goes. Because blunt objects, you kind of have to be a little more finicky to than more or less sharpened objects. Because they have a main use and they always have side usage. You can always use something like this. And this I talk about in another video. So, check that one out. But, so, always be aware. If you like what you see, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to say peace.